हरि सर्वोत्तम वायु जीवोत्तम
हरि सर्वोत्तम वायु जीवोत्तम
श्रीमन्मध्वमते हरि परतरः सत्यं जगत्तत्त्वतो
श्रीमन्मध्वमते हरिपरतरः सत्यं जगत्तत्त्वतो
भिन्ना जीवगणा नीचोच्च पावंगता भिन्ना
जीवगणा हरेरनुचरा नीचोच्च भावं गता
मुक्तेर्नैव सुखानुभूतिरमला भक्तिश्च तत्साधनम्
मुक्तिर्नैज सुखानुभूतिरमला भक्तिश्च तत्साधनम्
इच्छादित्रयं प्रमाण अखिल आत्मैकवेद्यो हरिः
यक्षादित्रितयं प्रमाण अखिला आम्नायैकवेद्यो हरिः
हरि सर्वोत्तम वायु जीवोत्तम
हरि सर्वोत्तम
वायु जीवोत्तम Welcome to Chidambar Chikuru. You can start Chidambar.
Chidambar sir, you share anything or no?
No, just I will speak on few points.
Sure,
So it is just a thought which most of the people are going to have it at least in the month of June and July, when the people are started filing their returns. They usually, why we need the taxation, whether is it a good for society? That is the most of the thing people will try to evaluate themselves. So to start with that, whether taxation is a good for society, or good society will have the better taxation. That is the other way of thinking. What is the good society? The society which is going to protect the poor people, which is going to give the security to the middle class, and the society which encourage the people to become the rich people. That is the reason why we call it as a good society. The society which gives the protection to the poor people, that should be the mindset. And that the second one is that should give the satisfaction to the middle class, and encourage the rich class to become the rich class. This is the overall. So the taxation plays very important role. Think of a day, what happens if there is a no taxation? What happens? The government of the country will need to buy the many things, has to do the many things which is required for the security, society, as well as for administration. Think of a day, say for example, today, if you think of a Pakistan, where I think even less than 0.5% are people who are going to give the tax in particular society. Whether that particular Pakistan is a now prosperous, no. So ideally, a good society is going to be evaluated whether they are having the better taxation policy or not. So think of a Germany where you are going to have more than 40% as a tax, and they are the world best economy that one can think of. Think of a USA where the taxation is more than India. Still, the people want to go to US because it gives ample of opportunity to earn and give the tax. So to start with that, whether we will have a better taxation or better society. So unless otherwise, we need to think of a taxation where by giving your taxation correctly, the society will become the better. So in the month of June and July, most of the Indians, whenever they filing the return, instead of having the satisfaction, they have this dissatisfaction, thinking that, oh, my tax, my money is going out of my pocket just for unnecessary reasons, or it is a waste, or maybe you can't call it as in Karnataka, it is Bhagya Jyoti or Bhagya schemes are where it is going to help. This is a part of our society where the 60% of the money has to go to the poor people. There is no way that every rupee has to go for the infrastructure or anything. There is a 60% because the most of the people nowadays having a issue of shelter, food, and health. So as a government, they have to encourage, they have to make a very important role that the most of the earned taxation money has to go to the poor people. Next, very important, the very after this, the very important is the national security. The government of the day should not be compromised with anything when it comes to national security. We can, so how do they can buy the new uh, machines, new instruments for the military? It is possible only if you have, the government has a huge kitty of taxation money that can be spent on the national security. So I'm just trying to recollect you people that in the uh, UPA era where the Congress was ruling, they were not able to give you the best dress or best weapons to the military. What happens is in the country where the military is not provided with the basic facilities, then there will be a security threat. So think of the UPA days where that time you see every month there is a bomb blast. Every month there is a killing in Kashmir, and most of the China try to acquire the proper lands of India. This is possible because whenever the money of government, that is from the taxation, if they feel that they doesn't have a huge money for those purpose, then they will try to cut their expenditure. It affects the national security. Third important, whenever there is no good taxation, most of the foreign investments are because think a particular place like Bihar, where earlier no people used to go and make an investment in Bihar because there was a threat in security. There was some Naxalites activities were there. Poor people become the poor. So these people will not go and invest in the Bihar, even though the government of that day ready to give the free lands or free whatever they want. So it means for a good society, the good taxation is a must to make it better society. So, what is the good taxation? Is it 40% or 50%? What is the percentage? If you look at the our Puranas, especially Puranas and Artha Shastra, if you the Atharva Veda and Kautilya Artha Shastra dictates on this particular uh, percentage. It says it is 1/6 of the your income should go to government as a taxation. So 1/6 means less than 20%. If the tax rate is less than 20%, most of the people ready to offer the tax to the government without having any issue whatsoever. What if more than 20% happens? The people try to hide that income and try to not to disclose the income. Nowadays, all real estate activities in India, especially in India, yes, when it comes to site purchase and site sale, nearest to 40% it happens outside the taxation ambit. It means all that 40% will be get financed to the anti-social activities in India and outside India. If you are a good person with national interest in your mindset, then you need to follow the, whether it is a high rate or low rate, you need to follow the taxation and try to disclose the returns, whatever it happens. Either it is ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 7, or 10. The most of the times, even as a chartered accountant, we feel great, a great mindset, and great when we try to hide most of the incomes. But that mindset has to change if you are looking for a nation as a first priority for you, because nation is the one which is going to give you everything. If nation is secured, your 30-40 site will be secured. Otherwise, you may be end up with having a good 30-40 site, but you will not be sure that it will be for you forever. So most of the investment today and tomorrow, whether it's a real estate or not real estate, depends on the better society, better government, better the taxation for the country. So, what happens as a normal citizen? What is my role in our society? If you want to contribute anything, so if you recollect the words of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he used to tell that, "Give me blood, I will give you freedom." That was the slogan which made the people to come forward and join the um, military run by the Netaji Subhash Chandra. The same words can be changed now. Give your return better. The best thing can be done for the country. You may not be in people like Subhash Chandra Bose or Vivekananda, which who are going to devote their life for the country, for the society, but you have every chance to disclose your all your income correctly to the government, no matter whether it's a Congress government or BJP government. Let the party and parties faith on the parties should not affect your duty towards the country. See what happens if you disclose it correctly, all your income will get recorded. Once it is become recorded, if you start transaction with the white money and white transaction, most of the times you will have a secured society. You will not get threat from the anti-social animals. Nowadays, if you see any crime happens either in the real estate or in the film industry, it is because of black money is happening. If there is no black money, the most of the 95% of the crimes in the society will get reduced. Of course, the 10% or whatever it happens on the better administration by the government of that day. However, 90% of the society can be uh, secured, or it is a better society if you have a better taxation, and taxation comes from you. And last but
Chidam,
not least, I wanted to tell you that taxation is not an option. Tax is not an option, it's a compulsion. So when you say compulsion, you have to pay, and whatever you are thinking today, you have to think that the expenditure what you are going to spend it is only after tax money what you are going to have it. That's it of
uh,
for the today.
Thanks, Chidambar. One few questions we can take it in another 5 minutes actually.
Yeah, please.
My question is this ATG. How much if I pay 5,000 rupees as a for any donation? How much is my tax will be reduced? That's my question. Any other people also can give. It's 5 minutes is there. Anybody can also ask
Okay.
questions.
Can I answer it, or do I need to wait for another question?
Yes, you can answer.
Okay. With regards to ATG, it is the deduction available in the old regime. New regime does not have any deduction for this particular. First. Second one, for the ATG, there are two type of classes. One is the Prime Minister Relief Fund, and the other than that. So now military, usually national security, there are only two things where your 100% donation, whether it is a 10,000 or 15,000, that 10,000 will be deducted from your total income. But other than the Prime Minister PM Care and few other things, most of the charitable donations comes under the 50% bracket. It means if you pay to anyone, any under donation, any organization, say for example 20,000, only to the 50% of 20,000 is 10,000. That 10,000 is going to be deducted from your taxable income. If you are
Income,
in the
right?
old
Not
regime,
not from the tax
not
actually.
yeah, it is not a tax, it is a income. From the income, it will be deducted. It means
Okay.
if you are in the 30% slab rate, the 10,000 deducted out of in income will give you 30% slab people. It will give you tax benefit of 3,100 rupees. If you are in the 20% slab, it will be 2,050 rupees for the tax. And if you are in the 5% slab rate, then the 10,000 into 5%, whatever it comes under 500 rupees. So it will be a deductible item from the income. It is not a tax
Okay.
deduct. Okay, the income is
Any
different
other
and
questions?
tax rate is different. Okay,
Any other one question we can take? Right?
yeah. Do any other people have that question?
Chidambar, one question. Why we need to file the return? Because anyhow tax deducted at source. No, government know how much should be there with government for my particular PAN number. Why we should
Perfect.
return the file?
So, perfect question. I appreciate this. This was supposed to be answered earlier also, but let me answer it. See, the government wants not only the tax, they also wants the information. Information is the strength for the government because they will be knowing all your income, but unless otherwise you declare it, there is no false or correct one. Because the if you see, everything is going to be from the government angle. They want to validate you. For validation, they need the information from you. Otherwise, as a legal angle, they cannot start sending a notice only on voluntary basis unless you declare it. So, legal point of view, unless you file it, they have no rights to send you notice. So usually most of the laws of the land, either you call it as a PAN or what is the income tax or any other act, they say two things. If you doesn't have, you will have penalized of 10,000 or 15,000. If you, example, driving license, not having the driving license will have 10,000 rupees as a penalty. What if I does not have the driving license? It does mean that any other act from that particular law, it will not apply unless you have the driving license. So usually ITR is the starting point for the government to evaluate their information compared to our information as declared. So ITR is not the only process of collection of tax. It is a collection of information. The government runs not only for tax, it also wants the information from the all people of the country. Actually, today, because of exemption, that motto is getting not fulfilled today. If everyone of the country, whether he is agriculturist or non-agriculturist, if he starts filing the returns, then most of the whatever we are seeing now, the issues with the government, the governance or whatever, it will come reduce. The most of the better government policy, whether for the poor or the middle class or whatever, it will be more effective if the government has correct and concrete information from the citizens.
Okay, thanks, Chidambar. So we'll now go to the ending prayer. Vedesh, you can start.
श्रीमन्मध्वमते हरिपरतरः सत्यं जगत्तत्त्वतो
श्रीमन्मध्वमते हरिपरतरः सत्यं जगत्तत्त्वतो
भिन्ना जीवगणा हरेरनुचरा नीचोच्च भावं गताः
भिन्ना जीवगणा हरे
मुक्तिर्नैष सुखानुभूतिरमला भक्तेश्च तत्साधनम् शिक्षामित्रतयं
यक्षादित्युतयं प्रमाण अखिला